Hey there, everybody. How are you doing today? Here we are, as always, on Tuesdays, and I think I say this like almost every week, but I really appreciate all of you that keep coming back here each and every week, or as often as you are able to. I've really grown to love these Tuesday night meditations that we've been doing them for, gosh, I don't know, almost a year and a half now or so. And I just really enjoy this way that we look at the astrology and the energies that are around us. So this week, here is our intention. If you haven't seen it yet, as always, intentions are released before Tuesday. I release them Sunday evening, so that way you can have a little bit of time to look at them yourself and just see what comes up, see what you make of it, see what you think, and reflect on it a little bit. So this week I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy. I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy. A couple aspects that we're looking at this week. If you tuned in last week, either live or on the replay, then a lot of what we talked about last week applies to this week as well. And we talked about that last week too. So let's see, last week we talked a lot about Mars and Uranus in that opposition. We talked about how we were coming into a new moon a little bit. New moon was yesterday, so happy new moon to all of you. And that's a big part of what we're looking at this week. So last week our intention was I remain flexible, change can be inevitable, or we threw out an alternative of fluctuation can be inevitable. So that change can be inevitable. That is kind of part of what we're bringing forward here into this week's intention. So this week I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy. So new moon in the sign of Scorpio, we're just going to briefly touch on that and just mention the fact that we have a new moon. We're going to focus more on the Mars energy that we have going on here. So we have a new moon coming in this week, so that's bringing in new things and a new lunar cycle. So a new chance to lay down new seeds or make new plans for the next month or so. So new moon in the sign of Scorpio. All of the aspects that we're talking about, they're all part of the new moon, and they're all part of the energy that is around. They're kind of all intermingled. So Mars opposite Uranus is intermingled into the next month or so with the lunar cycle, because those two planets were sitting in opposition at the time of the new moon. So you have that Mars-Uranus energy that we talked about coming into the next month or so. So we talked about last week how those two planets there, they're like the pushers and the motivators. There's tension between the two of them. So Mars, the planet of drive, motivation, action, movement. Movement is my word that I put with Mars. So things that change, things that go, things that make us wanna move. Uranus also gives you that feeling of kind of wanting to move and wanting to change things. But both of them have a quickness type quality to them, but Uranus is like that quick lightning flash, like quick, very quick changing and very quick like altering, life altering, and very quick changing. So the two of those planets coming together here within the new moon. And our other biggest thing that we have this week is that the sun and Mars are coming into a conjunction. So Mars was pretty close to the new moon, not quite sitting right with the sun and the moon, but the sun is making its way to Mars to catch up with Mars and come into a conjunction with Mars. So not only do we have the new moon for the lunar cycle this week, but we also have the conjunction of the sun and Mars coming together, which is going to create a new synodic cycle for Mars. So this is like a new moon period for Mars while we have a new moon for the lunar cycle all together. So it's kind of like two beginnings or two fresh starts or two new cycles kind of beginning here simultaneously. And quite honestly, with this Sun-Mars conjunction, there's a lot going on with it. So So let's talk about that. Let's break down the sun and Mars here a little bit. So we've talked a lot about Mars lately, right? We know that Mars, well, movement, right? All of those quick moving, the god of war, the god of movement, the god of pushing and pulling and resisting against things, coming into a new cycle. So your motivations, your desires, and the things that you want to achieve. Those things starting to come into a new cycle. The actions that you want to take, the things that motivate you, the things that drive you, your ambitions, the things that aggravate you, and the things that push your buttons, the things that kind of make you heated, those type of things. All of those Mars type subjects here are coming into a new cycle. And being that, so we have this new cycle here that's starting, but then we have tones that are coming into this synodic cycle that is going to take us through 2025, basically through the end of 2025. Sorry, I gotta let my brain catch up with my mouth and my brain catch up with each other here for a minute. So the Sun and Mars, when they come into a conjunction, they're sitting in opposition to Uranus, and they're coming into conjunction within this new moon cycle still, within the beginning of the beginning phases and the growing phases of the lunar cycle here. So you have this idea of like things growing and this idea of things creating and these things like coming together, new plans, new things coming in with this Mars cycle, but you also have Uranus sitting in opposition there. So you have this element of surprise. You have this element of liberation and rebellion, this this idea of kind of like pushing against the status quo or doing something different. So while Mars in its own right is a planet that wants to break away and do its own thing and be very independent, be very autonomous and have its own sovereignty, we have Uranus sitting in opposition. So now we have a planet that wants to create something and do something and move forward at almost in like a warrior stance of like any way necessary, any way possible. But you have Uranus there sitting in opposition as well. This is a huge, it's a huge polarization. It feels very much like intense and tension and intensity all kind of like mixed together here. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out over the next couple years here, I think. So, we have all of these, like, we have these new starts that are coming in here with this week. And, Mars and the Sun are, in my mind, the two powerhouse planets of the, in the solar system, okay? The Sun is the universal energy. It's the infinite energy. It's the God source, right? It's our soul. It's the light that never ends and everything rotates around it. Mars is power in the fact, like, in the right of just being powerful type. So you have these two powerhouses coming together, while you have liberation and rebellion sitting on the other side here. So I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy. The two powerhouses of energy, the Sun and Mars coming together and creating a new cycle here. It's a regeneration of our energy and a renewal cycle for Mars here. So I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy. I think over, I always try to emphasize that aspects and cycles and things, they play out very different for some people. Some people it's very, very extreme. Some people it's something that you don't even necessarily notice. But I feel like with this cycle that's coming up, again, it's a cycle that's going to take us through the end of 2025, so it's going to be a couple year cycle here. I feel like there's a possibility for lots of polarization, lots of like pushing and pulling towards and against something, and it seems like there's a possibility for like lots of ups and downs. It seems like a possibility for lots of like self-assertion and pushing for something that you want to bring forward. So really, this is a lot of great like creation energy and the things that you want to bring forward over the next couple of years and where you want to go very much like futuristically here. So very much energy to tap into to like create and to manifest things, and to regenerate and rejuvenate energy, to revitalize and re-energize ourselves through the planet Mars, through the sun, and through Uranus. There could be, you know, Uranus also I often bring in the keyword like breakthroughs or enlightenment. Sometimes it's kind of like the download type thing that is a word I hear people use, where you kind of like quickly have knowledge or information kind of enter your brain or enter your being. I could see lots of that. I could see quick advancements here. Very much like inventive or invention type energy here. So creating something new, something kind of off the wall, and something that we have to kind of think kind of wide spectrum for. Also, with these very like creation and creative and like moving forward, like pioneering type energy, that's a good word to use for this cycle, is pioneering here. Feels like there could be a possibility for burnout. So it seems like remembering that we have the ability and should, to sustain our energy, regenerate, and more importantly, rejuvenate our energy. The regeneration here, I'm looking at the conjunction in this new synodic cycle of like the regenerating, rejuvenation. We need to, not need to, because I don't like to phrase things that way, but I feel that when we remember and we rejuvenate our energy, and bring that kind of like refill that and remind ourselves that we need to do that, then that burnout energy is not so strong and maybe won't have so much effect. So the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate our energy is very much around, and something that I think we need to remind ourselves of all the time, but especially through this Mars synodic cycle that we have, that can bring forward lots of new changes, lots of really, really great things, maybe, some scary things, but there's lots to come from this new synodic cycle, I feel like. So, talking about it being like creation and manifestation energy, the conjunction, we're in the applying aspect of it right now. So you might start to feel that energy build. Thursday is when the aspect is exact, but those two planets are going to sit together for quite a while. So we have a time period here of like, the things that you want to bring forward. I totally encourage you to do anything that you need to do to bring those things forward. So this is a time of journaling. This is a time of writing down your manifestations, or, doing your meditations, doing your vision boards if that's your thing. All of, the self-talk, the notes that you have to leave, all of the things that whatever works well for you for creating things and manifesting things. I really encourage you to do those this week and next week. So Thursday is the exact conjunction of the Sun and Mars. They're going to stay together for pretty much through the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday into Sunday. Then they're going to start to separate a little bit, but really you're going to have all of this week and all of next week, with this weekend I feel like kind of being the strongest point, Thursday being the strongest point. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I would say being the strongest. But yeah, it's a time to lay down plans for the things that you want to come forward. And, maybe where you feel like you've been a little bit stuck, maybe you feel like you have a little bit of energy coming in. Maybe if there's places where there's been stagnation or staleness or, even laziness, whatever, those things might start to dissipate. Or if they don't dissipate on their own, we have the ability to kind of bring that into it here. So, I also feel like it's important to focus on and kind of like try to attempt to lay out some plans and just kind of like set the framework, so to speak, for the synodic cycle if we're able to, and for this definitely being aware of this conjunction here, because I feel like since Mars is a planet that moves so quickly, sometimes it can move like without thinking. So I see how this could be like an aspect and even a cycle that I feel like feel like hiding after hearing that. I'm sorry. I never try to be like, fear mongering is the last thing that I want to do. Read in the comment, looking at the comments here. I'm looking at it as a time of, yes, there could be tension. Yes, there could be a little turmoil, but really it's a time of work, a time of moving forward. Really the things that really bear the most fruit and the things that bring us the most blessings, like really those aren't the things that come super easy to us, right? Those are the things that like take some work, take some grit, and take some elbow grease. And that's kind of what this feels like. If you're going to put in the work and put in the effort, then there's lots to be had here. But at the same time, there is that possibility, since Mars and Uranus both move so quickly and they both are very much like about what they want and like right in that very moment, like instant gratification, instant satisfaction. I feel like there is a possibility for kind of like some like unconscious actions or unconscious, not necessarily like unconscious material coming up, but just acting without awareness and not necessarily being kind of like just being taken by the winds of the planets and just, acting under their accord without so much of our own sovereignty and our own validity and our own autonomy. So I don't think we're able to like totally change the energies. We're not totally able to create something if it's not meant to be. We're not able to stop something if it is meant to be, but I've talked about this before, there's abilities to kind of work with these energies, and that's what I want us to do here. So yes, that is the energy that we have coming into this week. New beginnings. Yeah, new beginnings. Also, with the new moon in Scorpio here, with it being the new moon after the shift of the nodes of the moon, the nodal shift from Scorpio and Taurus into Aries, Libra, it feels very much like it feels like the last part of what those eclipses were doing. So, we're wrapping up lots of cycles and creating new cycles. We're wrapping up a 18-month cycle of the lunar nodes being within Taurus and Scorpio, and we're wrapping up a 2-year cycle of Mars and the Sun synodic cycle here, starting 2 new cycles. So it feels very much like we could be at a point where things that we have been like at us and around us for quite some time are starting to kind of move back a little bit, while the new energies and the new things are very much on the forefront, and we're going to have more of a focus on that and be able to leave these things kind of behind. I think everybody is probably ready to be done talking about all the depth of Scorpio, between not only just Scorpio season, but also just the eclipses that we've had. So there's lots of depth and lots of like digging through unconscious material and things like that. Not saying that won't be a thing still, but it seems like that's a big part of like moving away from that and moving towards all of this different energy. So I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy. Mars, the planet of movement, is in a process of regeneration. Rejuvenation, we are always able to have the ability to rejuvenate our energy and to refill our cup in some sort of way. We just sometimes have to be mindful of it, and we have to remember to do it. So, yeah, I think that's what I want to bring into this meditation, and I hope you can all feel where this is kind of playing out somewhere, or you kind of feel this shift a little bit here. People who have like Mars dominant charts and lives, obviously it's going to play out a little bit stronger there. But feel like there's something in here for everybody. And like I said, the time to like bring forward the actions and write the things down that you want to do over the next little while is here, and it's now. Yeah, so with that, we'll get ready to move into our meditation. I'm just looking at the comments here, and if we focus our attention on a planet or a moon, etc., we can interact our consciousness. Yeah, you know, when we put our focus and our attention on it and we have a conversation with the planetary body or with the energies, right? Then we're able to interact with it. It's no different than being around a person. So if you are around another person that is in the room with you and you start interacting with that person and you start having conversation, you're going to start to build some sort of relationship or some sort of energy exchange with that person. Where if you are in a room with another person and you don't communicate with them at all or say anything to them at all, then you're not gonna build that, and you're gonna kind of be going on your own a little bit here. Does that ease it a little bit? Does that make it sound a little less scary? I don't ever want to sound like, oh my God, this is bad, especially when I'm talking about cycles. Yes, there's a possibility for tension. Yes, there's a possibility for polarization and resistance, but there's also persistence. There's also motivation. There's a desire for independence and sovereignty. There's breakthroughs of absolutely any kind. There's enlightenment. There's knowledge to be had. So if there's something that you've been working on or something that you've been learning or something that you've been wanting to learn, this is a great time to try to go forward with that. If you've been working really hard with something and trying to get something, you might find that somewhere within the cycle it just automatically clicks a little bit. You know, Uranus, often talk about how Uranus and the story of Prometheus that brought that brought fire from the gods to man, and through that fire brought knowledge and enlightenment, electricity and technology, all of those type of things, right? So, you know, the infinite knowledge of the sky and of the gods and of the infinite intelligence coming down into human form somehow. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't some sort of like technological advances through this, especially as Pluto moves forward into Aquarius and stays there. So yeah, it's, you know, it's kind of like, it's a little nerve-wracking, kind of like, ooh, what could happen? But it's also like super exciting and super like, ooh, what can I make happen? This regeneration of my energy that is happening right now and that is occurring, what can I create from this? What, as long as I remember to rejuvenate my energy and move forward with that, yeah. Being wary of Mars is lots of people are wary of Mars, but yeah, you have to learn to make friends with all of the planets, right? All of the planets are around interacting with us, and their energies are around us in some shape or form at all times. We have all of the planets are within our own chart, so they fall within our lives somewhere. And you know, honestly, we need little bits of all of it in order to make it work, because if you didn't have Mars, I don't know where the motivation would come from. I don't know where the ambition would come from. If you didn't have Venus, and I think I'm probably looking a little bit at the traditional planets here possibly, but if you didn't have Venus, where would the love and the desire come from? You know, that type of thing. Yeah. Yes. Yes. All right, let's move forward into our meditation here. So, starting something new, moving forward with something. If you have anything that, like the things that you have in the works, the wheels that you've been spinning, I want you to kind of think about those things and pull those things into the meditation this week, because, yeah, there's, like I said, there's lots of possibilities, creation and manifesting here. Yes. Should we do that? Should we start with an Om here? What do you guys think about that? So I have not ever done that here on a live meditation. I do it in my own personal practice, so I can't guarantee exactly how it would translate over, but I think that sounds like a good, yeah. Sounds like a great way to start this. So why don't we start by lighting our intentional candle, and then we will settle in with the vibrational sound and energy of Om together, okay? How about that? So this week, our intention, I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy. I can refill my cup. I can start a new cycle. I can move forward and leave things behind and have new ambitions and new things moving forward. So we're going to light our intentional candle, and as we do so, we see the flame grow. And as the flame grows, so does our intention. And as we come together here, take a nice deep breath and release it. Thinking of the intention, I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy. Feel free to join me out loud or silently in your head, whatever works well for you. So, I'm going to exhale my breath. Deep breath in. And as we move into our meditation, if you haven't already closed your eyes, I invite you to do so. If you're not quite ready for that, that's okay. I'd like you to relax your gaze and rest your eyes as much as you're able to. And as you settle into your body, as you settle into this vessel, into this being that holds your soul for this lifetime, I invite you to check in with this vessel, with this physical body, and see what the response is. What is your energy level like at this moment? Are you tired, or are you energized? Happy or sad? How about your breath? Is your breath fast or slow and relaxed? Bring your focus to your breath. Bring your focus to the inhale and to the exhale. As you breathe in, breathe nice and slow. Feel the oxygen and the cool air entering your body, moving down your throat, filling your lungs. It's beautiful, loving, energizing oxygen. And as you exhale, slowly release the air from your lungs as it moves back up your throat, and you release it from your being. Inhaling again. As you breathe in, feel that wonderful energy coming into your body, nourishing you and filling you fully. Once you've inhaled as much as you possibly can, rest there for just a moment before exhaling, if you're able. Feel that fullness, oxygen within you. Feel how nourished and held you are at this moment. And as you slowly begin to exhale, and as you release the air from your body, you not only release the breath, but also release a small amount of tension or stress. Anything that does not serve you and your highest good. Continue breathing in and out, focusing on each step of the inhale and the exhale, but at your own pace. This week, as the sun is approaching Mars, as the two energetic powerhouses of the planetary bodies inch closer together, you feel an energy rising. As they come together, creating a new beginning for for the planet of movement, for Mars, the god of war, the warrior who is when needed. As our motivations turn, as we focus our energy to this new cycle that is beginning for Mars. We feel the Uranian elements of the cycle beginning. As the Sun and Mars sit in opposition to Uranus, setting tones for the cycle beginning. We expect breakthroughs. We look for the enlightenment. We persist and resist when needed. Now I want you to contemplate your ambitions and your motivations and the movements within your life over the last couple of years. What has been accomplished? What has moved into or out of your life? Now consider where you are at this very moment during this time of a new moon, as well as a new cycle beginning for Mars. New beginnings on top of new beginnings. Moving forward and breaking free from any chains that have been holding you back. I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my body. I have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy. I have the ability to create the future that I want. And I have the ability to take the actions needed to move forward my highest good. Now I want you to consider the future. After considering what has transpired over the last 2 years, let's look forward. Looking forward through the rest of 2023 and 2024, even through 2025. What are your goals? What are your ambitions? What do you want to move towards? This regeneration of your energy, this regeneration of Martian energy gives us a boost to jet off into that direction. I want you to physically see yourself in the future you are envisioning. Physically see yourself achieving the goals and the ambitions that you are thinking about. Moment of creation, a moment of initiation, a moment of focus, of moving forward. Thank you, energies above. Thank you for guiding. Thank you for creating. And as we move out of this meditation, as we move into the rest of our day and night, into the rest of our week, and the rest of the year and beyond, we know without a doubt that we are co-creators of our world and of our life. we co-create and we bring forward the movements of this life with the help and assistance, the eternal energies, forces, and spirits that are around us at all times. We move into this next Mars cycle, knowing and recognizing our ability to regenerate and rejuvenate our own energy when needed. And one day, before too long, you're gonna think, dang, did I really do all that? And you're gonna be like, yeah, I did, with the help of Mars. And the motivations and the drives and the ambitions. As always, thank you for being here. Started out a little rocky in the beginning, but you know, it comes down to new beginnings and new cycles. I think there's a lot to be had within this Mars cycle, like I have kind of just said and just stated. I think there's a lot of ability, and I think I think the things that you want to bring forward, I think there's huge energy to bring forward those individualistic things. Like I said, this week and next week, I would say, you know, tomorrow through the weekend, really focusing on the things that you want to bring forward. So, you know, writing them out, or, you know, vision boards, dream boards, you know, the notes, all, whatever the things are that work for you. You know, and that will just set us up really nicely for this cycle that's coming in. So lots of Uranian possibilities, lots of possibilities of like pushing back intentions of, you know, that rebellious and that liberating type energy here. Yeah, all of those type of things. So I just take some time to bring forward your intentions here, okay? Your own very specific intentions. Thank you all for being here, and thank you so much for suggesting, without really suggesting, the Om, because that brought in some, that was really nice. And it's funny because I was thinking about that before I saw it in the comments, and we did it, and here we are. So thank you, all of you. Go forward and have a great week, and I will see you here next week. Set your intentions, set your goals. You probably already have them, but you know, set them again. And the things that we want to bring forward into the next couple years, you know, Mars is the motivator, it's the actions, right? Mars is the pusher and the mover, the god of war. So use that to your advantage, okay? And don't be scared. Don't be scared of what's to come, because what will be in my experience. So have a great day, have a great night, have a great week, and I will see all of you next week. Look for the new intention on Sunday. Find it on social media pages, so Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube page, YouTube channel, and the website. So yeah, I will see you next week, and I can't wait to see what the next couple years bring for you. So have a good night.